So, welcome to Corporate Bhagavad Gita. Uh, there are prayers on my screen. You can repeat with me. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshunamritamena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Sotam. Vande Aham Shri Guru Shuktapadakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavacha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatamritam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sadhutam परिजन सहितम कृष्ण चैतन्य देव श्री राधा कृष्ण पदान सहगण ललिता श्री विशाखान्विताक्षम हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीन बंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांतर राधा कांत नमस्ते तप्त कांचन गौरंगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी विश्वभानुसुते प्रणमामि हरिप्रिय वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. So welcome again to Corporate Bhagavad Gita. We were doing 16th chapter and we were in the first verse only. We discussed few things. Yeah. So in this 16th chapter, Krishna describes two things, two qualities. One is divine qualities, one is demoniac qualities. Asura and Surik. Asura is demonic qualities which will lead us to fallen path, which will downgrade us and which will give us animal life, uh, life which is not human. Okay, and divine life will give us human life and devata life, and ultimately get us to liberation. So few things we discussed here. First is so these are the list of qualities. Let's see that first. There's a list of qualities here: fearfulness, purification of one's existence, cultivation, knowledge, charity, self-control. So we did few of them, like fearlessness. It is there for a sannyasi also. Sannyasi has to be fearless, meaning he is completely dependent on Krishna, and that's how he becomes fearless. Like child, they are completely dependent on uh, Krishna. Sorry, their parents. So they are fearless. You throw the child up in the air, they will laugh, and they are not worried. Will I fall down or not? Right? Because they know parent will catch me. So that fearlessness is there. Purification of one's existence, following the rules, regulations, and avoiding association of materialism. If a sannyasi is there, avoid intimate association with women. Cultivation of knowledge. Cultivation of knowledge. So knowledge has to be cultivated for everyone. Everyone has to cultivate knowledge. But a grasta may do it, for the time that he may get. But a sannyasi has full time. Therefore, he must cultivate that transcendental knowledge, Upanishad knowledge, Vedanta knowledge, Bhagavatam knowledge, because he has completely given up everything. So he is full of time. So he should not waste time. And then he should cultivate knowledge to give that knowledge to others who don't have that much time. So householders may not have that much time. So he will give it to them. Brahmacharis, they are in a training phase. Vanaprastha they are in the tapasya phase. So they also need to know the knowledge. So charity, we were at the charity. So Grahastha is the only one who will earn, right? And they are the large population. So they will support everything else. So if they don't give charity, then what will happen is they will enjoy too much, because too much of money is there with them. So they will enjoy it. They will spend it on unnecessary things, and because of that they'll get more entangled. Just like in a spider's web, a mosquito gets entangled, they'll get more entangled in it. So therefore, they have to give charity, and at most 50% should be given to the Brahmanas, to the Vaishnavas, and the needy people. And that should be given in mode of goodness, right person, right time, and place. Then I think self control we discussed. It is there for every uh, ashrama, but for grasta is very important because he has access to sense gratification, materialism, especially sex life. So he should self control it to just to have children. That's it. Okay, so let's go further. We read this. Um, we read this also, and this also. Okay, so we'll continue from here. If there are any questions or comments, you can interrupt me. Um, okay. The next item is Jnana Yoga Vyavasthithi, being engaged in cultivation of knowledge. Sannyasi's life is meant to distribute this knowledge. But when he can distribute this knowledge, if he has that knowledge, if he has that cultivated that knowledge, then only he can distribute. Okay, so then only he can distribute this knowledge. A sannyasi is supposed to beg from door to door for his livelihood. So sannyasi also has to beg. Brahmachari has to beg, sannyasi has to beg. Vanaprastha have to live a very simple life. Hmm? Okay. But this doesn't mean that he's a beggar. So there's a difference between that he's begging so that not like a beggar. When a grasta sees a sannyasi, he doesn't think another beggar has come. He sees it as a spiritual person has come, and therefore he offers whatever is there at his home. Hmm? So this is the different kind of begging than the beggar. Humility is also one of the qualification of transcendent situated person. Out of sheer humility, the sannyasi goes from door to door. Humility means not to be anxious of one's respect. Sannyasi doesn't care for his respect, but he is very concerned that the householders, the married people, they should follow spirituality in their life according to their time, place, circumstance. So, out of that compassion, he goes door to door. He goes to their place uninvited or sometimes invited, but mostly uninvited for exact purpose of begging. So, this is the Vedic culture. A sannyasi has to be offered, but then the sannyasi has to give back also. What he gives the spiritual knowledge. So he goes door to door for the purpose of begging. But internal purpose is what? To see the householders and awaken them to Krishna consciousness. That is spirituality. That is the duty of a sannyasi. If he is actually advanced and so ordered by his spiritual master, he should preach Krishna consciousness with logic and understanding. And if he is not so advanced, he should not accept the renounced order of life. So, when to say sannyasi is expert, advanced? When he can preach, when he can explain the spiritual knowledge with logic and understanding. This is very important. Logic means what? Logic, reasoning, right? Tell me what is the reason. Tell me, justify it, right? So if you can justify anything, then the other person will accept it very easily. Like if you say to the person, Without logic, you're just telling him, you need to do this. That's it. But then he comes around and says, why I need to do this? No, no, you need to do this. Then it's very irritating. So there the logic is not there. So it is not working. But if you explain logically why you need to do this, what is the benefit, what are the pros and cons, what you'll achieve by doing that, how beneficial it will be, right? Why we need to do this. So then there is more acceptance for that. You're getting? There is more acceptance for that. And then understanding should be there. So sannyasi should have these two things, logic and understanding, okay, to present the spirituality. Otherwise, he is not so advanced. But even if he has to accept the renounce out of life without sufficient knowledge, he should engage himself in hearing from a bona fide spiritual master to cultivate knowledge. Let's say he is not advanced, but he is mature enough to take to sannyas. Then he should hear from a guru and cultivate knowledge. He should not say, okay, I cannot explain logically, so I'll just sit and meditate and do my tapasya. No, he should put that effort to learn, to cultivate the knowledge. So he should continue cultivating knowledge. It doesn't stop for him. A sannyasi, one who is ordered of renounced out of life, must be situated in fearlessness, some sattva samsuddhi, purity and knowledge. So his purity should be there and his knowledge should be there. Next thing is charity. We said some few things about it. Charity is meant for householders. Householder can earn livelihood by honorable means and spend 50% of their income to propagate Krishna consciousness all over the world. For spiritual activities, we can donate. Very simple. Donate to the Brahmanas because we know it will be properly used. Donate to the Vaishnavas, we know it will be properly used. And to the needy people, we can give. Needy people, we have to think. If some needy person is there, but he is prone to alcohol, then you may have to think whether to give cash or not, whether to give money or not. Hmm? In such case, you may avoid giving money. You will tell him, you may give him food because he cannot buy alcohol from food. So he'll have to eat that food. Okay, so that's where we decide. So charity has to be given to the right person, right receiver. Okay, there are different kinds of charity. In the 18th chapter, Krishna is going to say, or in the 17th only, there is in goodness, passion, ignorance. Basically, goodness means it is recommended by scriptures. It is not done in a mood of what I'll get return. You know, as a duty, it is done to the right person at a right time, place, circumstance. Charity in mode of goodness is recommended by scriptures, but charity in mode of passion and ignorance is not recommended. Uh, yeah, passion and ignorance is not recommended. Passion is where one may think what I'll get out of it, and ignorance is where one will do it at a wrong to a wrong person at a wrong time at a wrong place because it is simply a waste of money. Charity should be given only to propagate Krishna consciousness all over the world. That charity is in mode of goodness. Now, self-control, Dhamma. As far as self-control is concerned, it is not only meant for other orders of religious society, but for the householder also, because he has a wife, and he should not use it for unrestricted sex life. There are restrictions only for propagation of children. If he does not require children, then he should not enjoy sex life with his wife. Modern society enjoys sex life with contraceptive methods and more abominable methods to avoid responsibility of children. This is not in transcendental quality but is demoniac. If anyone, even if his householder, wants to make progress in spiritual life, he must control his sex life and should not beget children without the purpose of serving Krishna. He is able to beget children who will be Krishna conscious, and one can produce hundreds of children. But without this capacity, one should not indulge only for sense pleasure. So if one has a capacity to be Krishna conscious, he can produce hundreds of children. But if he is not Krishna consciousness, then he should not indulge in sense pleasure. Any question on this? Any question on this point? Is the logic, the argument acceptable, or you need more clarification? It's a very important thing. We have to clarify why the Shastras say such thing. Hmm? Some people may say, okay, sex life is a part of married life. We can't remove out of it. It is there. That physical attraction is there. Physical sexual intercourse is there. You know. Then only should it be for the child. What is, they have this doubt. So how are you going to explain them? Any thoughts on this point? Because it's a very important point in modern times, right? Sexual life is very much what you say popularized and glamorized and romanticized, right? Everywhere. Even if somebody is selling biscuit, he has to show that the biscuit comes from the female to the male, or brings the female to the male, like that. Actors, actresses are used. So all that attraction is there. So one may question, oh, it should it be only for propagation of children, sexual life? How will you explain? Let's put it this way. If you are convinced, how will you explain that it should be only for propagation of children? Somebody may protest, no, 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 it is a part of married life, you know, and I want to enjoy sensually. It's a part of my bodily pleasure. How will you explain that? Any thoughts on that?
So, Prabhuji, this is a very important aspect, as you correctly said. And also, they say like it is one of the physical needs, like food and like all these kind of things. But this is difficult to, we can get convinced because we have read the scripture. Okay. But it is difficult to explain to anybody else. That is the
Okay, okay. Any other point anyone wants to say? Any other point anyone wants to say? There is one place where Krishna talks about sex life. That point we need to bring about. I will this one. So this is 11th verse of probably 10th, no, 7th, 7.11. No? So we should explain it through this verse, 7.11. बलम बलवंतम चाह काम राग विवर्जित धर्मो विरुद्ध भूतेषु कामोस्मि भरत ऋषभा. These two sentences are very important. Dharma viruddha bhuteshu kamosmi bharatarshava. See, the word kama is used. Kama means enjoying, and in that sex life is also there. So if that enjoyment is viruddha of what? Dharma, then that is not Krishna. If it is dharma viruddha, it is dharma aviruddha, means it is not against the religious principle, then that enjoyment or that sex life is Krishna. Asmi, I am. So if Krishna is the sex life, if it is not against dharma. So let's put this statement here. According to 7.11, Krishna says that we'll specifically say about sex life only. but it can relate to enjoyment also. Kamosmi means enjoyment. It's a big umbrella. Sex life. Oh, sorry. Krishna says that he is sex life, which is not against dharmic principles. Okay. Now, if this statement is there in front of us, Krishna says he is sex life, which is not against dharmic principle. Now, how will you explain to the modern youth who ask this question, why the Vedas say about this and that? So, what are the dharmic principle? Can you explain what is the dharmic principle? Most important thing is it is sex within marriage between husband and wife. It is not outside marriage. This is most important thing. Second important thing, it is for having child. So these are the 2 points that we need to understand. What is the dharmic principle of marriage? If this two is satisfied, that sex life is Krishna. Okay? Does it make sense? So if someone is saying, okay, I want to have sensual and all that, okay, you can enjoy sensual pleasure, but within marriage. Don't go outside marriage. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Anyone? Please.
Prabhu,
Hmm.
we should take these 2 points together, or it's
Together. Yes, it's together.
okay. Okay.
It's together. See, the thing is now, it is for having child, right? Then the Garbhadan Sanskar takes place.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. You explained about this. Yes.
Yeah, the Garbhadan Sanskar takes place. Generally, it is found that for Garbhadan Sanskara, the Brahmana, Kshatriya, and Vaishya, these three can do Garbhadan Sanskara because they have that samskara, they have that uh, qualities to be spiritual and to be religious. A Shudra, if he's religious, then he may also do Garbhadan Sanskara to his capacity, okay? Just by remembering Krishna and all that. So the point I'm trying to mention is that not everyone may have this understanding, okay? It's a samskara. So then they have to have the second understanding, the primary one, that it should be within marriage. So that they are responsible. See, the whole point of this is that you are responsible, okay? Why? Because if they have sex, that there will be a child, and you can't just have child without parent, right? That kind of child we don't want without parent, otherwise the child won't grow properly in a society. So the responsible aspect should be presented very strongly. Okay. If they don't have this samskara of Garbhadan Sanskara and all that, they don't have this understanding, then at least they should have this understanding. The first one. Within marriage, responsible. Okay. So that's why we see, sometimes what happens is some boy or girl, they are having a affair. Then what do the parents and the society will do? Even the police and all that, what will they do? Can you tell me? What is the best solution that they will do?
Maybe they will say to get married.
Yeah, they will try to get them married. best solution is, let's say, there is no politics involved and all that. Okay, there is no politics involved and all that. Then, parents and society will say, okay, Baba, now they are, in love, in this love affair and all that. Let's get them married now. And after marriage, they can continue their affair responsibly, legally, right? See, if a married woman comes and says, I am pregnant, then everybody is happy. Okay. But if an unmarried girl comes and says, I am pregnant, then what happens? Then everyone is tensed. Society is tensed, parents are tensed, police is tensed, social organizations are tensed. Why? Because they are not seeing the aspect of responsibility, right? They know that a single parent is very difficult to raise a kid. So they'll immediately say, who is the father? Let's try to see if you can get married, right? Isn't it? Isn't the society do this? Yes? You agree to this point?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay, so this is the point, that that's why, you will see that the society will first focus on this principle, that sex should be within marriage and it should be responsible and between husband and wife. The Shastras will say the higher principle. To have a child, you do a Garbhadan sanskara. It's actually a sanskara. Okay. Now, previously in Vedic life, both the things were taught. Okay. Both the things were taught. The samskara was also taught and the responsibility aspect was also taught. This whole thing comes under marriage principles. So, marriage is what? Vivaha yagya. Marriage is what? In Sanskrit, it is called Vivaha samskar. It's actually Vivaha samskar also. Okay, and it is yagya also. Both it is. So there is a Vivaha samskara. So it's a sanskar also. It's a yagya also. So that way, in that whole perspective, sex life was explained. So this is a very important concept because today, modern children, they are they want to become free and all that, Uh, but ultimately, the practicality, the reality of responsibility still remains. Whether you be in live-in relationship or married relationship, na, the aspect of responsibility is still there. Okay. Can we
Uh,
any question on this, or can we move forward?
Prabhu, actually,
Hmm.
so what Shastra says on birth control, like,
Birth control, na. See, Shastra says that. Okay, this is a good question. Okay, this point I didn't explain. Um, Contraceptive methods and abominable methods to avoid the responsibility of children. That is abortion and contraceptive methods. They have to be avoided. Okay. Shastra says abortion should be avoided only in rare case if the child is threatening the life of the mother, right? Only in those
yes.
cases the abortion is allowed. Okay. And contraceptive methods are to be avoided. Now let me explain a little further. in a in a woman's monthly cycle, okay, they have a monthly cycle where they are fertile to have child for, let's say, 4 or 5 days. It's like a 4 or 5 days period where if sexual intercourse happens, then they can have a child. Okay.
Mm.
So apart from that, there is a menstruation cycle. So all these are part of menstruation cycle, but this menstruation cycle is when the body is in pain and blood is coming. So this is the time to have sexual intercourse for child, because body is in pain and blood is coming out and all that. Strictly no sexual intercourse. Now there are remaining days. So this menstruation cycle is also 4-5 days only. Okay, when the body is in pain and all that. So now remaining, how many days are there? How many went? 10 days or 20 days are there? 20 days are remaining, right? 20 days, if sexual intercourse happens, what is the result? Child or no child?
No child.
No child. So what is this? What is this whole thing? If we can summarize this in 2 words, this is,
Sense gratification.
yeah, nature's natural contraceptive method. Does it make sense? Isn't it? This nature has given us. So utilize this. Why to utilize an artificial contraceptive method when nature has already given a natural contraceptive method? Okay. Does this make sense?
Prabhu,
Huh.
so this statement is against the
No, it's not against. See, this is
second.
nature's natural contraceptive method. Then the Shastra's thing, where it is saying it's a contraceptive method, modern society's contraceptive method. What happens here is the person wants to use contraceptive methods in these days. Okay. And some people are even cruel to use it in these days also. And that's why women are exploited. First of all, women's right is to become mother, and you're not giving that right. Second thing is, when she's in pain, you're exploiting. So how can the woman be happy, right? Her swadharma of becoming mother is also not fulfilled. Her body also needs sexual enjoyment, and then people are doing it at the wrong time. And when the nature has given natural contraceptive method, if we can have minimum, let's put it like this, minimum control of mind and senses. Okay, somebody who wants to become animal may not be able to follow all this. Okay, but who has a minimum control of his mind and senses will understand these 3 points and will act accordingly. He'll understand all of this and he will act accordingly. Got it?
Prabhuji, you said contraceptive method is not correct method, right?
Artificial contraceptive method.
Yeah, but Prabhuji, nowadays women
Yeah.
have a lot of complications in the reproductive organs, like uterus has fibroid or some cyst or something. Then doctor gives that contraceptive medicine only as a tablet. And even for over a hormonal problem and all, they use that contraceptive
Right.
IUD
I know.
for, yeah. Even though the mission is not for that, but for everything, that medicine is only given. So in that case, even though the mission was not to enjoy, but the mission was to cure the health reason, then is it permittable?
So now we are entering the field of medicine. Okay, medicine and treatment. In that we have two ways to it. One is allopathic way and another one is Ayurvedic way. In the allopathic way, like you said, what are those medicines called? Contraceptive medicines, or what is it called? Birth control medicines, right?
Prabhuji, nowadays, if there is any problem in the uterus, they are putting this IUD. IUD, it's a plastic device which is inserted into the uterus to stop that hormonal problem or any cyst or anything.
Right.
But that will also act as a contraceptive also.
Yes, agreed, agreed, agreed.
Okay.
Okay. So, yeah, so today's allopathic ways are, there are medicines to control birth, and you said some, what is that called? Device kind of thing.
Yes, Prabhu.
So, so now, if we go for the Ayurvedic treatment, it is slightly different. I don't know what it is, but it may also give some birth control medicines and all that. When it comes under the purview of medicine and treatment, right, we don't have much wiggle room there. Okay, but our point was mostly related to sex life, to the enjoyment between man and woman within marriage. Okay, if we are clear of this, are we clear of these points within marriage and all that? Are we clear of this?
Yeah, Prabhuji, I'm
Yeah,
clear of it. But the doctors in
yeah,
the
yeah. When it
society,
comes to
they
medicine
please
and
with us.
treatment, see, when it comes to
Yeah,
medicine and treatment, now we don't have much room there. So
yeah,
then we
Prabhuji.
have to follow the doctor, because our it's a question of life and death and proper health, right?
Yeah, but doctor is only saying you
I know.
can
See,
use it
that's what I'm
as
saying. The
a
allopathic
doctor is
doctors are not
only.
Vedic doctors. No? They are not accessing Vedas. Ayurvedic
Yeah.
doctors are accessing the Vedas. But sometimes what happens is we may not get good treatment in Ayurveda also. So we have to go to allopathic. Now let
Yes,
me tell you
Prabhuji.
one thing. Those who go under this treatment and all that, right? For them, all of this enjoyment is very troublesome. Okay, it is not very enjoyable also. So, point to mention here is, let's think in this way. For the healthy couple, they want to enjoy sex life, then this is the conditions, these are the scenarios that they need to understand. Okay, and for those who are, diseased, okay, they may have to go through this treatment and all that. We cannot avoid it. You're getting, we cannot, when we come under this medicine and treatment kind of thing now, then certain things may not be very easily to follow,
Yes, Prabhuji, but the
yeah.
society doesn't accept if
See,
someone
society,
is different
see,
and
point
doctors
is,
and
if it's a treatment, right, you can't have much room. Agreed? If it's a treatment, you can't have much room. Today children are through IUI and IVF
yeah,
also.
Prabhuji.
Okay,
Yeah,
that is,
Prabhuji.
yeah, but again they have to do it in the fertile period only. Hmm? uh, point is you think in this way. If it's medicine and treatment, na, some things can be allowed. Okay,
Okay, okay, Prabhu.
yeah.
So devotees are allowed to get artificial children?
uh, if they have a severe medical issue, then yes. And I will tell you one example in Mahabharata. Gandhari, she was pregnant and the child was not coming out. When she heard that Yudhishthir was born, she got angry that someone has born before her child. So she hit her womb and out came a lump of flesh. Okay. Then Vyasadev came and he cut it into 100 pieces, put them in ghee pots and chanted mantras. And after 1 year came 100 sons of Gandhari, starting with Duryodhana. You know the name Dronacharya. Dronacharya means Drona. Drona means cup. It's a leaf cup, right? So once what happened is his father was a great sage, and one day he was near a river and he saw a very beautiful woman taking bath, and by just seeing that his semen came out. His semen came out from his private part, and it was collected in a drona. That is a leaf cup, okay? And a woman was pregnant, and out came Dronacharya. So this is IVF technologies previously used. So it's not something new for modern, okay? So if devotees are having problems, just like Gandhari and all that, flesh and all that, not having children, they may have to go through modern medicines and Ayurvedic treatment and all that to have a child.
Yeah, Prabhu.
Okay,
Understood.
does it make sense?
Yeah, Prabhu. Thank you very much, Prabhu.
Okay, so understand two principles. One is how a sex life is dharma if it is within marriage between husband wife and done as a garbha sanskar. It is done with this knowledge, okay? Garbha sanskar has this knowledge. That knowledge is here when the woman is fertile, when she is not, and all that, okay? Artificial contraceptive methods are to be avoided. Abortion is to be avoided, rarely to be implemented. Artificial treatments and all that only under the purview of medicine and treatment and severe medical issues, okay? With this clarity, if one goes, then there is a chance of having a dharmic child. The ultimate aim of sex life is what? To have a child, no? To have a child, dharmic child, you need to be under guidance. So you be under guidance of Shastra. Garbhadan Sanskar is what? Shastra guidance. So here also treatment, it is under some guidance, right? This also you see Vyasadev guidance, Dronacharya's guidance, it is all under some guidance. Okay?
Prabhuji, in one of the classes by one of the brahmacharis in ISKCON, they told that grihastha should not have sex life unless they want to beget a child. And today you're saying sex life within marriage is not illegal. So what to do? Prabhu? Both are like kind of
They are not
contradicting.
contradictory. It depends on the maturity of the person. If the person is brahmanical in nature, then he will do Garbhadan Sanskar. He will wait for this period and then do Garbhadan Sanskar and impregnate his wife. But if the person is having Kshatriya tendency, Vaishya tendency, where passion is more, we may see that he will have sex life outside of this monthly cycle in these particular days also. So it depends on what mode one is: mode of passion, mode of goodness, mode of ignorance. Okay, for a Brahmana, he will strictly follow Garbhadan Sanskar because he is controlling his mind and senses. This is very important. This statement is very, very important. One who can control his mind and senses will strictly follow Garbhadan Sanskar. But for those who have mode of passion and ignorance more, we will see that they will follow dharma by doing sex within marriage, and they will have more sex and all that. Like, if you see Shastra stories, you will see that the king would fight for a woman. He would capture a girl, and they would enjoy for many years. How is all this is possible? Because mode of passion is more. But you won't find that same thing in a Brahmana. A Brahmana is not going to fight for a wife. Getting?
Getting Prabhuji, but what about teenage or adolescent kids? They're
They
mostly
have
in the
they
mode
have
of
mode,
passion.
yes, they have mode of passion, so they need to be explained that it should be responsible. okay, within marriage.
But kids
In
won't understand now, Prabhuji. How do the Vedas helping young children to understand this concept, to become responsible? How to deal
They
with
have
that?
to be taught in dharma. They have to be taught in dharmic principles.
How do we do that, Prabhu?
We have to do it from their childhood. First of all, Garbhadan Sanskar, attract a child which is having a spiritual tendency. Let's say if that doesn't happen, then train him from the childhood in spirituality so that he can control his mind and senses. Okay? And let's say even that doesn't happen, then if there is some affair, then what today's society did is that get them married.
Yeah, Prabhu. But when we
The thing
see
is,
the
anything
practical,
after that, whatever happens, right? Then there will be always karmic reactions.
yeah, Prabhu.
Yeah,
Now the problem is in family, not everyone is devotee, and some are non-devotees. Some don't believe in Garbhadam Samskar. So then the child is confused. If we, I mean, the child is not fully trained on the Vedic principles, but
yeah. That's
they
why.
have,
See,
and
that's why this.
schools also they have a lot of other children
I
who
know,
talk
I know. I understand
unnecessary
what you're
things.
saying.
Huh.
So let me put it this way: you teach them through Ramayana and Mahabharata because there both stories are there. Okay, Arjuna kidnaps Subhadra. Krishna's own son Samba, he impregnated the daughter of Duryodhan before marriage only. But he didn't ran away. He wanted her as his wife, and there was a war over it. So even in the Vedic times, there were scenarios, but we need to understand. Okay, they have mode of passion more, right? So
Yeah.
for them, getting them married is best. You can do early marriage, no problem. 21, 20, get them married.
But then the marriage at such young
No, no,
age, they won't
I
stick
understand
together, right? They're lucky.
you have further arguments, and it
Huh.
can continue, Mataji. But
Just getting
yeah,
married, them married may not solve the problem. They may have
actually,
got married out of some lusty thoughts, and they may not stick together.
yeah,
Then
that's
what
why
to
you know
do?
the training of dharmic principles is very very important. Uh, Dharmic principles is very very important. Okay, let's not avoid that.
Yeah, this
And
training
okay,
is
okay, let me
need
come to
of the
one
hour.
point. Okay, let me come to one point. Whatever happens, let's say they are not dharmic, anything. We have mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This is a very important point. The Bhakti Yoga process. The Bhakti Yoga process, it can bring a low person to high spiritual standards. Remember that. This is the great thing that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given us. So try that small elements of bhakti. Small elements of bhakti are in children because that will save them. Okay, that will save them. Let's talk about what will save them, what we can do. If in spite of all this, if the child does something against the dharmic principle, then they have to face the consequences. There is no avoidance for that. But let's talk about what we can do now, how we can train them. So so focus on that first. Hmm? What
Okay,
is
Prabhu.
done is done. See, we all didn't come up, we all saw Bollywood movies and all that, but today we have taken to bhakti yoga and we can see a change in ourselves. So that power we have, okay, that key we have, that tool we have, bhakti yoga. So focus on bhakti yoga. How much can you give? You will see this will save people. It has saved people. All Prabhupada disciples, they broke four regulative principles before they became devotees, right?
Yeah.
After becoming
Yes,
devotees
Prabhu.
also, some broke the principles, but they again came back, they again stood up. Why? Because of bhakti.
Yeah, Prabhu. Lord's mercy, the mercy has
See, the
flown to
mercy is
them.
coming through bhakti. Okay.
Yes, Prabhu.
So
Yes, Prabhu.
introduce bhakti.
Yeah, Prabhu. That will only save them. Correct,
The
Prabhu.
last thing I will tell you very shortly, I have to run also. There
Hmm.
was one devotee family in Maharashtra, Warkari family, who are devotees, who are in the line of Tukaram Maharaj. Who go to Pandharpur every year in the Pandari Dindi. What happened is his son was not a devotee, and he fell down to drinking alcohol. So these parents who were very very spiritual, very very devotional, they were very sad that how come our son is not devotion and all that. And it so happened that they died, and they died with very sad feeling that that son couldn't become a devotee. So one day what happened is his son was in the bar drinking wine, and he overheard one discussion where one person was saying something about Bhagavad Gita. And the moment he heard Bhagavad Gita, he turned to that person and he said, "What do you know about Bhagavad Gita? I know about Bhagavad Gita. I am from a Varkari family." And he said few things over there. After that, he met a devotee later on, few days later, he met a devotee. And they again started discussing about Bhagavad Gita, temple, association. And slowly, slowly, his heart changed. And that son, that drunkard son, became a devotee. After becoming a devotee, he said this whole story to everyone that his parents died in a sad mood. But because he was trained in bhakti, that saved him. So we need to understand the power of bhakti and utilize it. Okay. I talked about various principles here, but ultimately understand the saving point is bhakti. Okay. Does it make sense now?
Yes, Prabhu. It's clear, Prabhu.
It's
Thank you
clear now?
so much.
Okay. Okay. So don't worry about a lot of other things. If anything happens, if we fall back to bhakti, okay, if we fall back to bhakti, we will come back. We will come back. This is the last thing I will tell, because this is a very important. In the ninth chapter, Krishna says, "Apichet su duracharo ananya bhak sadhu eva hi mantra." It's taking time. Hmm. This is the last thing I will say, and we'll close for the day. My devotee, even if he commits abominable action, even if he falls down, he's still saintly. Why? Because he will quickly become righteous. My devotee will never perish. So focus on having devotional qualities, inculcating devotional qualities in youth, and this will save them. Okay. This is 9.30, 30 and 31. Okay. So thank you very much. Hope this helps.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you very much.